Hi, everybody. Thursday. Hey, the weekend's almost here. We're cranking through the week here. Happy Weather Extra. Thank you for coming by and stopping by. Been watching some rain in Mississippi, just hanging out parallel to the Alabama-Mississippi line. It is literally hitting the proverbial wall as it moves north and east, and it's really struggled. I kept a few isolated showers in the forecast for the overnight. I still have them in the forecast. This particular area of rain that's creeping into Franklin County is very light. Some of the forecast models show a rogue shower in and around the Huntsville area around midnight. I'll keep it in just to kind of cover my butt, but I think most of you will stay dry tonight. And after a very hot day where temperatures were generally in the 90s, we went back to 90s today. We didn't have any clouds and rain, so sunshine popped and the temperatures took off. At one point, the feel like temperature in Huntsville, I think, was 104. So trending drier for the rest of the night, not really playing out to be much rain. And then tomorrow, a few storms will try to pop mainly east, but that doesn't even look like all that impressive. So I think the focus now turns to just the hot and humid conditions for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and even into early next week now, Monday and Tuesday. I bumped up the temperatures for next week as well before some big changes come. And I'll show you the 10-day in just a moment. If you know anybody that lives in Jasper, though, see that one little cell? Let me pull it up. It literally has just parked itself there for like the last half an hour. And it is just pouring in Jasper with some lightning too. That one little cell just doesn't want to go anywhere. It's just sitting there. Some heavy rain there, but nowhere else. So watch what happens. See how it all kind of is just spinning and doesn't really make a move east. And that's why I don't think a lot of this will get to us. In fact, if you are east in like DeKalb and Jackson County or even Franklin County, Tennessee, you have mainly clear skies. Areas west have a lot of cloud cover, but the rainfall is struggling to get here this evening and overnight. Temperatures that were 90s earlier are in the 70s and around 80 degrees right now. It's incredibly humid out there. The dew point temperatures are in the mid 70s. When it gets to the mid 70s, that's oppressive and can certainly make the temperature feel like temperature a lot warmer. Like, hit low 90s with that kind of dew point temperature, you're going to feel like 100. And when the temperatures go to the mid 90s, it could feel closer to 105, and that's what we could have here this weekend. So hour by hour forecast, I just fast forward to the morning hour. At 8 o'clock, it shows a rogue shower near Albertville. I think that's overplayed. Watch out for some dense fog in the morning. I don't think the coverage of fog will be as much as it was this morning. Jada was in this morning, and she was telling me like almost every camera had fog on it. It was really bad, and that's because we had rain yesterday. Anytime you have rain, the saturated soils will probably cause a little bit more in the way of some fog, and we certainly had that this morning. Not as widespread tomorrow morning. There's those storms popping in the afternoon. I even think this forecast model is a bit overdone with it, but we'll keep it in the forecast. A few downpours, if you're in Jackson or DeKalb County, would have a higher chance. Whatever does pop during the afternoon will quickly fizzle out in the evening once we lose daylight, and therefore it will be quick, fast, and in a hurry with more areas staying dry than get wet. So I kept an isolated storm or shower in the forecast tonight. Patchy fog, low 70s. For tomorrow, a few storms will fire up in the afternoon. Again, probably favoring areas east. Temperatures will be around 90 degrees. And on your 10-day forecast, it gets even hotter for the weekend. We're going mid-90s. Kept it going for Monday and Tuesday. And it will feel close to 105. They may put some heat advisories out for the area. And it's going to be hot. It's going to be humid. So if you have outdoor plans this weekend, common sense stuff. If you feel like it's uncomfortable, take a break, find some shade, drink water, basic stuff. Make sure you check on the elderly. Don't have the pets outside if you don't have to do that. The forecast high for Wednesday is a little tricky because there's a front that's going to come down from the north. And it comes in earlier in the day. We won't hit 95, but it looks like it's going to come more at night. So therefore, we would have one more really hot day Wednesday before that front brings a touch cooler area in and a higher chance of rain for the end of next week. And we're back in the 80s for next Thursday, Friday, and into the following weekend. And that also coincides with the first football action of the high school season kicking off next Friday, week 0. Of course, Carl is very excited about it. And hopefully we won't have much in the way of lightning on that Friday because obviously if we do, they have to pull the players off the field. So we'll see how it goes. But wow. Hi, Adam. Good to see you on from Fort Payne. Always a pleasure, my friend. Hope you're having a good day at Fort Payne. Shannon, hi. Good evening, Jeff. I'm good. Hope I did. Shannon, I had a great day. Thank you for asking. And hope you had a good day, too. Happy Thursday, Friday, weekend almost here. Good stuff. Weekend's going by fast. Hi, Gary Taylor. Good evening to you. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Thank you for praying for my family. I appreciate that. It's very kind of you. Thank you. Adam says, back in the oven we go. Yeah, we're gonna broil steamy stuff Saturday, Sunday. At 95. I feel good about the 95. I bumped it up yesterday, and then I bumped up Monday and Tuesday too. It just looks like it's a prolonged period of just hot and humid. It's August, it's supposed to be, but that changed, weather pattern change at the end of next week looks nice. One, it gives us beneficial rain, and two, it cuts the temperatures back too, which will be nice. But we'll see how it plays out. It's still a long way to go. I did not show the graphic of Aaron, and I should have put that in the show. I can't do that now. So just a quick update for you on Tropical Storm Aaron. A lot of you have been following it. I'm sure if you follow social media, that's probably like a lot of meteorologists are putting it on their page. I didn't really address it too much at 4, 5, and 6 because it's still in like the Atlantic, and it doesn't have any impact on the Tennessee Valley. But for all the weather buffs out there, Tropical Storm Aaron will likely strengthen to hurricane status probably by tomorrow, maybe in the morning, or if not in the morning or afternoon. And it will continue to intensify as it moves west, north of Puerto Rico by the weekend, and eventually could become a Cat 3 by the weekend, which would make it a major hurricane. It's going to be a Cat 3 or higher. Remember, the category rating on a hurricane is only based on the wind. There's so much more to a hurricane than that, but nonetheless, Cat 3. And then it looks like at this time it's going to take a turn and go away from the U.S. and then out into the Atlantic and eventually just become a fish storm, but it'll probably cause some rip current issues all the way up from Florida all the way up into the New England states. But certainly something to keep an eye on if you have friends or relatives that live in Florida or the Carolinas or Georgia. Obviously not going to drop the ball on this and just say, oh yeah, it's going out to sea. There's still a lot that can happen before now and next week. So the impacts would not be felt if it were to make it to the U.S. until next week. So there's a lot to watch still. But it does look like it will become the first hurricane of the season, at least in the Atlantic. It's the 5th named storm, and it certainly could become quite strong. And the track of it right now, most of the ensembles or forecast models veer it just to the east of the U.S. We'll see how it plays out. Certainly no impact for the Tennessee Valley at this time. I mentioned this last night on Weather Extra. I had a lot of people yesterday. You're also good about the weather around here. And you're all like, wait a minute, is this Aaron? Is this rainfall yesterday from Aaron? No. Aaron is way out in the Atlantic, so we're just getting rain. Shannon's ready for fall. A lot of people telling me that. Yeah. I always say fall arrives in Tennessee Valley in November. No, it arrives in September like everybody else. But we can still be pretty hot through Halloween. We can also be kind of cool at times too. So certainly October into November transition time around here, right? Gary says during the day we can cook lasagna in our mailboxes. That sounds kind of yummy right now. I am starving right now. So the food talk will make me start drooling probably because I'm so hungry. Hi, Candy. Good to see you. Hello. Hi. Welcome to Weather Extra. Good to see you on. With an exclamation point, which I love exclamation points. Tegan, fist pump. Got you. What's up, Tegan? Good to see you. I had a fantastic day. I hope you did the same, too. I got a lot done today. I had some errands to run this morning. And had a very productive day. Tomorrow is take the dogs to the vet day in the morning. That's always a treat. My dogs do not like going to the vet. Nails clipped, update their shots. So we have to medicate Rubble tonight. Sky too. So they're a little drowsy when we go. Otherwise, they won't let them cut their nails. But that would be stressful. I'll come into work very stressed out by the time I get to work. But it's got to be done. It's got to be done. Candy says, I hope your day is going well. Candy, I've had a really good day. Yeah, it's Thursday. I'm really excited. Tomorrow, Jada will be in the morning. She's covering for Eric. I'm here for Brad tomorrow night. And then I have Saturday off. Woohoo! And then I think I'm back Sunday. I work in the morning. So, yeah. So, got a day off coming up. Yay for me. Very excited about that. Shannon says, yep, more of a fall winter girl. So I'm done with this hot weather. Yeah, everybody has that like one season they love, right? And it's very rarely summer for many people, but I'm actually a summer guy. I don't mind the heat and the humidity. Doesn't really bother me yet. Maybe it will a couple more years, but I like late spring into summer. Sometimes in August, I've kind of hit my fill of it. The one when it really gets to me is when we get to Labor Day. I start thinking about mums, and I think about like things you do in the fall and pumpkin spice latte, and then we're like 95 degrees like the week after Labor Day here in the Tennessee Valley. And I'm like, that's when I've kind of had enough. But I don't mind summer. I'm not a winter guy though. I moved here to get away from snow. And the first 3 years I've worked here, we've had to cover a little bit more snow and ice than I've wanted to, but it can happen here though. We can certainly get it. Candy says, oh, I love the dog names, Paw Patrol. Candy, yes, and I did not know that. So Candy, I'll tell you the backstory really quick. So we had Hunter pup. Hunter was a dachshund, long-haired dachshund. He was like 15, turning 16, and he was getting really old, and we wanted to kind of rejuvenate him a little bit. We figured that he was probably not going to live much longer. So went to Rocket City Rescue, went down to Mid-City, and they bring the crates down there, and they have all the dogs, and Sky and Rubble were just so cute sitting in the crate, and I was like, oh, I got to take them home. So did, and didn't know that Sky and Rubble were Paw Patrol names until I announced that we had adopted the two dogs. They were 7 when we adopted them. They're 9 now. Hunter has since passed. They all got along really well and did rejuvenate Hunter a bit. But I started telling everybody their names, and everyone's like, oh, that's Paw Patrol. I had to look it up. I didn't even know what Paw Patrol was. So then I started watching the show, and Sky is the airline pilot person. She's really cute, and she fits the personality of the character, which is crazy. And Rubble is the construction guy, and totally fits the mantra of construction tough guy. So yeah, so that's how they got their name. We didn't name them. They were already named, so it's pretty cool. Candy says, I love whatever season that doesn't have tornadoes. Amen. Right, yes. Never want severe weather, right? Totally agree with you on that. Unfortunately, around here, severe weather can happen really any time of the year, but obviously favors the spring. And then you get like a little push, like November and December. You can get some wild storms. I first moved here. I moved here in November 2022, and I remember covering a tornado day in January 6, 2023. Had one in the morning in Lawrence County. Eric and I were here for that. Brad went to go cover it live, so I was here by myself in the afternoon, and then we had another tornado pop in Pisgah in the afternoon. And that was how I was rudely introduced to severe weather in the Deep South. But I had gone to school in the South, so I knew what it could be like. That's kind of why I took the job here, is I wanted to get better at severe weather. So, Candy says, that's so adorable. And that's the truth. That was a truthful story about how the dogs were adopted. They were so cute in their little crate. It was like really hot, and whenever you go down to Mid-City and they have their function down there, Rocket City Rescue, I always like just pulls at my heartstrings to see all the dogs in the crates and stuff. And I have this thing now as I get older is whenever I adopt a dog from here on out, it's going to be an older dog, probably no puppies anymore. I want to adopt dogs that are maybe older, that maybe get passed up at the shelters because they're older, and maybe somebody doesn't want to take on an older dog. They always try to find the puppies. And so my goal is to always try to adopt dogs that are maybe like 7, 8, 9 years old and try to give them the best life they can in their older age. So Rubble's like a little, she's like a puppy. She's so cute. And Sky's just he's just a grumpy old man is what he is. But he's a good dog though. Except when he chews my flip-flops. That's the only time he's not cute. But he's a good dog. He's a spaz when it comes to thunderstorms though. They both are, but he's really bad. So, but they're good dogs though. They're a blessing to get. That was my stomach that just growled. Told you I'm really hungry. Sorry about that. It's still growling, if you can hear it on the mic. It's a little embarrassing. So I'll pop the 10-day up. I'll take it large so you can see it again. Pretty straightforward forecast. The new drought monitor came out today. We're not in a drought yet, but we did see the extremely dry or abnormally dry area of yellow start to take over a bit more of the Tennessee Valley, which is really no surprise. But keep in mind, that graphic gets updated today, but it did not take into consideration the rainfall we had on Wednesday. And some areas had like 3-4 inches of rain. So we'll see what happens next Thursday when the new update comes. We are going to be really dry Saturday, Sunday, Monday. The cutoff's Monday, and then anything that falls after that, even though the graphic comes out Thursday, it doesn't count the Tuesday and Wednesday. So you have to wait like almost a week and a half before it catches up. But might see a little bit of a change next week, but probably not much. I mentioned that when you start to show the drought monitor and you start to see the yellow, the abnormally dry, that's when you really want to like turn the faucet on and stop that. You want to like get rain as much as you can from that point on, but because if you don't, it starts to get worse. And that's what happened in the last 2 years. So hopefully we won't go into the fall in any kind of drought. Hopefully. I mean, there's some areas that have been really dry for the last month. And then there's some areas that have had like really good rain too. So it just comes down to location. All right, I'm going to wrap this up. We are on air at 10 o'clock, and we will have all the latest news stories for you. I'll throw in a little bit of weather. Carl's here with a little bit of sports. We got you covered. Again, Jada's in the morning. She'll be here bright-eyed and bushy-tailed at 4:30. I'm in for Brad tomorrow afternoon and evening. And then Eric Burke will be here Saturday morning. Jada Saturday night. Me Sunday morning. Jada Sunday night. And we got you covered. And we'll keep you updated on all the heat, the humidity, and the very summer-like feel for the next couple of days. For now, everybody have a fantastic night. We'll talk soon.